One of the reasons we're recording this is because I'm going to talk about what's happening with the IGs. We thought it might be easier to get it as a live footage and have Luke edit it down as needed. And as I thought about it, I thought, when I was counting up the number of people that we have working on the product development team, and when I counted it up, it ended up being more than a dozen. And that does not include all the people that have been helping us in customer relations, in all the different departments of the building. How many people have handled our IGs? And why in the world, when we have a successful product, because I'm here to tell you we send out a lot of IGs, are we going through all the work of editing and changing them this year? And actually, the initial reason was because of Wayne. Wayne, if you don't know, started off as a Sonlight customer. He was, his wife Betty found us on the web and went to place an order with Sonlight, and then there were issues with the order, and then Wayne tried to figure out what had happened with this strange company. And as he researched it, he thought, maybe this company could use my help. And they seemed to have problems with systems, which back then we certainly did. And he applied for the position and has really helped us move forward in that arena. So what happened was, though, Wayne knew that his wife had had a very successful experience homeschooling with Sonlight, using our IGs, using our materials. And he has 2 daughters that are also homeschooling their children. It's one of the advantages of getting older. You get to see the things that you hold dear to your heart also being pressed on into your children. But none of them use Sonlight. So he went and looked. He pulled an IG. He's going, well, what is it, that I can encourage my kids maybe to become Sonlighters as well? And as he was looking through the IG, he thought, wow, these are quite complicated. And he said to me, as he so gently can do, if you've ever been approached by Wayne, he said, I know you had a plan when you wrote these originally, but I think they've been a little changed over time. So it was one of those where, as we looked at the IGs, we thought, well, maybe we do need to adjust these. So more than a year ago, we decided that we would spend this year trying to go back to a good quality product that would be easy for our customers to use. So what happened was we decided to divvy up the IGs. And Janelle, as she was reading through her IG, she came to me and she said, Mom, I don't know how to put this together. I don't know what we're trying to do here. And it was one of those where I thought, this is the ideal picture of what's happening with our customers. It didn't look like this, did it, Mom, when you did it? And at that point, we thought, we really need to go back to our roots. When I used Sonlight personally, I used my IG every day. I thought I wrote them, but why in the world would I reinvent the wheel? Every day I pulled it out. We'd pull out all the books and I'd figure out exactly what we were going to do. But since my children are grown, I don't do that anymore. I don't have the opportunity to use that anymore. And it's very interesting. When you use it, you get a chance to say, this is really a good product. I can remember vividly that I was supposed to read to my children Where the Red Fern Grows, which is it's a dog story about these dogs that die in the end and the ferns grow up where they've died. And I got to that book on the schedule. I went, I can't do this again. We pulled it the next year. And I put something else in its place. Very interesting. When we had Donna, one of our SCCs was here in town. She has either 9 or 11 children. And she is going through her core programs for the 4th time. She said to me when she got here, she said, oh, I'm so glad my husband's reading The White Stallion, which is a great book. She says, because there's some books you can read 4 times, but I don't find that to be the one. But that's the type of thing that happens as you use it. You get a feel for, this doesn't flow as perfectly as it could. This is probably a superfluous note or whatever. And those things weren't happening because I wasn't using them. If we think about all the changes that have happened to our IGs over the 22 or 23 years that we've been doing them, when I used them, they were mostly a schedule with a few notes behind the pages that John had done. In our effort to customize them, to make them really widely usable by a lot of our customers, we have massively complexified them. If you think about an IG, it used to be, we used to bind them. We used to have a machine and we would actually We had strips and we bound them together, and some of our SCCs still have them bound like that at our conventions just to make them a little easier to transport. That was how all of our IGs went out. But the minute we broke them apart to make them easier for customers to use, you had a core IG, you had a language arts, you had a science, and you start putting those all together, and your binder, if you think about some of our binders, they are this thick. Well, Janelle's going, I don't even know how to put this thing together. Okay, so the decision was made, and I think it's the right decision, to go back to some of our roots, to make things easier for our moms. Think about it. Luke did, blessings on Luke, he did a video to show moms how to put together our instructor's guides. Wow, this is scary. Where it's so complicated, we need to give moms a walk-through way to put them together. So we decided to incorporate, back up a little, because our language arts are so tied to the things kids are reading. The assignments come from there, their dictations come from there. We decided to incorporate those again into our core IGs. That would be one less set of paper that moms have to deal with. Think about it, as you're homeschooling, you're flipping through all these pages, trying to find what you're supposed to do. Another thing we did to help our moms was we created a 4- and a 5-day program. Great idea, because we have about half of our customers buy a 4-day and half of them buy a 5-day. Some of them, like me, like the 5-day because you want to do homeschooling every day. You don't want to miss a book. You don't want to not enjoy all the great things that come along. And some moms just choose to do something on a 5th day, outside of their home. And, that the 4-day gives them the freedom to be able to do everything they need to do and still have time to go and do those extra things. Okay, what happened with the 4 and 5-day program in the past was we started with the 5-day and we cut out books to do the 4-day, because basically 4-day was 5-day was our standard. So what happened was you'd have a schedule with less books for our 4-day, because you're doing them all, instead of reading all day long. Basically you'd have maybe a book that you were reading in week 14 for the 4-day program. Maybe you'd be reading in week 12 for the 5-day program because you're getting through it a little faster, right? Well, you couldn't put your notes behind the schedule because it didn't make sense. You didn't want to put notes behind week 12 and week 14. Your IG would be, oh my goodness, you'd need a crane to carry the thing. So it was one of those where we pulled all the notes and put them in appendixes in the back, which made sense, but it's more complicated. So what we've opted to do this year is we've made the 4-day our standard. And then the 5th day is augmented material, which also makes great sense, but it is a different change to what we've done. But what that means is if you're doing a 4-day program and you feel like reading a 5-day book, easy. It's easy to do because there's no change in the progression. Everybody's reading the 4-day program. The 5-day people just get extra great books to read. And if you wanted to, you could do that over the summer or do that over the course of the year. Basically, we're trying to simplify, pull things together. If you think about a language arts IG, as I've been reviewing them, and for our younger grades, we still have the language arts separated out because kids read at different levels. As I've been reading through, I think, there's just a lot of blank pages here because it doesn't fill. As we can incorporate them, we're just streamlining that. Right now you've got history, Bible, readers, read-alouds, language arts, and it all just flows. The pages are much less daunting, much less overwhelming. They feel much more doable. Simplify. Let's see, what else do I need to do? Help. I'm going faster than I thought it was. It's wonderful. So at this point, all the notes are directly behind the schedule. I think our moms are just going to love that. You look at your schedule, you know exactly what you're going to do for the week. You turn the page, day 1, this is what you do. Check it off, you're done. Day 2, I'm done. Wow, we can really do this. I think it's going to be terrific. And I was going to bring a show and tell of what the old binders look like and what the new programs, but that'll have to be for another day. One other question that people I'm sure are going to be asking is, why in the world did you add Bible and language arts to our programs, back into our programs? For Bible has always been a part of our program. We have daily Bible readings every day. They're written in the IG, and those never went away. We've always had Bible memorization as part of our program. That never went away. It's always been in our IGs. The few supplemental books that Bible includes, we have opted to put those back in. And the reason is we had a team, a couple of very sharp guys on our product development team, have taken the time to look at those optional books and weave together all the readings with the books that the kids and the moms are actually doing together. The program will be much stronger. They've added some supplementary notes. They're explaining why these things tie together the way they do. And I look forward to moms and kids understanding the Bible much more effectively as a result of that. I alluded slightly to the language arts reason why we added that thing. Partially, it was to simplify. As the moms are going through, they know exactly what to do. Cut back on the flipping of pages. And because language arts has always been tied to the reader packages, it seemed to make sense to us. It was not an easy decision. We had a number of meetings in this room where we would talk through the reasonableness of that and how our customers were going to like that. And in an effort to make all the products uniform, because language arts has always been a part of our upper level course. Starting in 7th grade, you cannot buy a separate language arts IG. So as we wrestled with how do we make it simpler for customers to buy, how do we make it easier for people to understand and use this product, we decided to incorporate language arts in all of our cores like we had done from the beginning. Again, going back to roots, going back to making it as easy as possible for moms. And we wanted to make all the programs the same from K on up. Right now, if you read our catalog, well, this one has this, but this one has that, and this one has... Honestly, we were trying to make it as clean and simple as possible. Turn the paper over. Our goal has always been to make things easy to use. And big thanks to Wayne's comment, I realized that we hadn't necessarily made it easy to use. We'd given moms lots of information, lots of things to use, but this year's goal is to make it easier for everyone to use. We've always wanted to schedule everything. We have done so, and at this point the scheduling is easier and cleaner to use. We've always wanted to provide moms with everything they need. Homeschooling moms are busy. Think about it. They're not only doing the laundry and cleaning up and cooking and driving their children everywhere and making sure their husbands are cheerful people and having dinner on the table. They're just busy. Well, it's part of the role. And our goal was to say, you do not have to run to the library. We're going to just give you what you need with an easy-to-use schedule and give you the supplies and everything that's there. That's why we pack up these huge boxfuls of things and send them off to our customers. And I want us to remember that we are serving these busy moms, these moms that wear multiple hats. And we want to make sure we always care for them as best we can. So that was part of the reason we brought in more than a dozen people, more than everybody in the building working on this, because our goal has always been to give our moms everything that they need in the best form that we can. And I think our reward can be when we look at the scholarship pages. Luke has posted already on our forums the winners for this year's scholarship programs. And every so often I'll pull out a catalog and read that page, because you know, Sonlight is the same program. Everybody uses the same books. They all do the same creative writing assignments. They all do. But I'm here to tell you that not one of those kids is like another. They are articulate and sharp and have big visions. Those are all kind of comparable, but they all come at it very differently. You know, one wants to, I can still remember the little boy who wanted to transform the society, the social services of Philadelphia. I'm thinking, wow, that's a big goal. But they're not just that, but you have kids that are, you know, actively involved, you know, leading worship in a group or translating. Read them. They are some awesome kids. And if we keep in mind the fact that we have a chance to not only build families together with moms that like their kids, that's certainly true in my case, love my kids, I think they're terrific, build that time when you spend time together, but also raise up a generation of leaders. Oh, it's worth giving our every good effort to what we do. Thanks, guys.